Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty. Their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optics covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.
By Brome, where bird feeding meets innovation. Discover truly squirrel-proof bird feeders, all backed by lifetime care commitment. Brome.com.
And by Hog Island Audubon Camp. For full camp schedule, program details, and to register, visit audubon.org/Hog Island.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to our show number 1086. As we air our show live here on the 19th of April, we're just 3 days away from Earth Day 2026 on April 22nd. Great day to do something good for our fragile planet. But if you're hearing this after that date, not to worry, because Earth Day has morphed fairly recently into Earth Week, and this year will extend until the 26th of April. Of course, you could make the case that every day should be Earth Day, but to find out more about this special day and week and about the more than 9,000 Earth Day events going on all over the world, you can visit earthday.org. And there are many great nonprofit conservation groups doing good things for the planet. Making a donation to one of them seems also like a great idea. Meanwhile, we often give conservation salutes here to groups and individuals who are doing good things for the health of our planet and its inhabitants. But today we have a conservation shame on you of the week. It's really not funny, is it? It goes to the governor and legislative allies in the state of New Hampshire, where they have shut down their vehicle inspection program in apparent violation of the Clean Air Act. So shame on you, Governor Kelly Ayotte, and those legislators who clearly don't care about the state of the air in the state of New Hampshire. But wait, there's good news. Sources say that the vehicle inspection program is still in effect in New Hampshire, thanks to a federal court injunction that has forced the state to keep the program in place until further notice. So we'll stay tuned for that. And that is our mystery bird. The contest a little bit later. Here's our preview. It's a strong clue right here. A mystery bird is a medium-sized grayish-brown flycatcher. It has dull white underparts and olive gray plumage on the breast and flanks. Our bird winters in the tropics and breeds from southeast Alaska down through western Canada to Arizona and West Texas and most of Mexico. Our bird is nearly indistinguishable from a close eastern relative, except for its buzzier song. Here it is again. It's our mystery bird. We have beautiful prizes here this morning. In fact, a very special one from Brome Bird Care. It's a
Mega 600 feeder.
That's right. It has an extra-large tube that holds nearly 2.5 pounds of seed. It's easy to clean, it's chew-proof, and it includes that famous Brome seed ventilation system to keep the seed cool and dry. We also have a beautiful $25 gift certificate for Bird Collective, your one-stop shop for vintage-inspired apparel and unique accessories. Everything from T-shirts and tank tops to bags and books, and all featuring birds. Prizes on our mystery bird contest coming along just a little bit later on in this morning's show here. We always like to express our gratitude for listeners who step up and become Talking Birds ambassadors, helping us spread the word about the show. And, of course, what we're trying to get out there, and that is the wonder of birds and the real importance of conservation. Thanks to Sandy Kay from Cornell, Illinois. Thanks for your kind thoughts about the show, Sandy, and we're glad that you find it informative, and thanks for becoming Talking Birds ambassador. Well, Talking Birds listeners, or ambassadors, I mean to say, are among our favorite people on the planet because they help us get the word out about birds and birding and the importance of conservation. To join the family and to let us send you a little batch of Talking Birds info cards that you can hand out to friends and neighbors, birders and would-be birders at your convenience. Just sign up under the Get Involved tab at the top of our Talking Birds homepage, talkingbirds.com, and there is no G in talking. Still to come today, we'll revisit a talk with Environment Colorado's Henry Stiles about what his group has been doing to fight back against an extremely harmful type of pesticide. Also today, Mike O'Connor will join us for Let's Ask Mike Live on the topic of keeping birdhouses and the birds therein safe from predators. And up next, one of North America's most beautiful birds is today's featured feathered friend, presented by the Bigger and Better BWD magazine, with each large format issue packed with beautiful photographs and illustrations and in-depth articles ranging from backyard birds to birding abroad. Experience birds up close with BWD at bwdmagazine.com. Today's featured feathered friend is the state bird of Oklahoma, and translating its species-specific name, Forficatus, provides a pretty good clue as to its common name, because Forficatus comes from a Latin word meaning a pair of scissors. It's the scissor-tailed flycatcher. It's been described as looking like a slim, long-tailed mockingbird from a distance, until it flies and shows off the salmon-pink coloring under its wings and its red epaulets, and the way its long tail streamers flare out as it pursues insects on the wing. The scissor-tailed flycatcher's breeding territory extends from eastern Colorado and Nebraska down to Louisiana and Texas. It favors semi-open country, roadsides, and farmland with scattered trees, and feeds by catching insect prey in the air and on vegetation, and sometimes on the ground. Most folks love the scissor-tailed flycatcher. It's a beauty. But in Oklahoma, it's not only the state bird, it forms the background on their vehicle license plates, and it's displayed in streaming tail feathers flight on the Oklahoma commemorative quarter. It's Tyrannus forficatus. Today's Talking Birds featured feathered friend, the scissor-tailed flycatcher. Henry Stiles is an advocate for Environment Colorado. He's also the conservation chair of Colorado Field Ornithologists. He came from the world of software engineering and management to environmental awareness and ultimately advocacy through observations gleaned by being a birder. He joins us now to talk about the hazards to pollinators and many other creatures, including birds and people, through the improper use of a class of pesticides called neonicotinoids, or neonics, and to tell us what his state is doing to help fight back against the dangers. Good morning, Henry.
Hi, Ray. Thanks for having me on. I'm a long-time listener.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. I think you told us you're fond of the Mystery Bird contest.
I do like the Mystery Bird contest, and I think I've got this one figured out, but I won't say it.
Well, that's pretty good considering we played the wrong bird song earlier. So
that's very good. Very good.
That's you get extra points right there.
And I think your bird is actually affected by this, our insecticide that we're going to talk about.
Yes, the insecticide, neonicotinoids or neonics. Well, Henry, there are many dangerous pesticides out there. Why are neonics so concerning?
Well, neonics were developed back in the 90s. They are a neurotoxin, meaning they attack the nervous system of insects, target species. Mm-hmm. But they are extremely toxic, 1,000 times more toxic than DDTs. Wow. And they last in the environment for a very long time. Mm-hmm. And the way they're being used right now predominantly is through a seed coating. So seeds are coated with this pesticide, the plant is planted, and the pesticide sloughs off into the soil, and it's eventually brought up by the plant through the root system. But a lot of it sloughs off into the soil and gets into surface water, gets into groundwater, and it's really creating environmental havoc.
It becomes part of the plant and part of the soil, right, surrounding the plant.
It does. It's taken up by the plant, and it becomes actually part of the pollen also, which is a big problem for bees. We've seen dramatic declines in bee populations. In my state, the western bumblebee is down 72%, really hurting those species. And now it's become clear that they're affecting birds as well, particularly the grassland birds and the aerial insectivores are really affected by these neurotoxin pesticides.
Well, I believe you were instrumental, Henry, in passing a bill in 2023 that banned neonics from physical store shelves and also what's the other virtual store shelves, so online. What was the result, the practical result of that ban?
Well, we're seeing a lot less neonics use in Colorado because of that. Environment Colorado worked really hard to campaign to get that bill passed. The result of the bill was that neonics can no longer be sold on retail shelves, brick and mortar, or virtual. So like if you go to Amazon, you'll see that, and you try to buy a neonics pesticide, it will say you can't buy it in Colorado. Several other states have done this as well. But,
I think, is it New York and Vermont, I think, right, have taken some action?
There's a few, I think there's 10 other states, actually. The New York and Vermont are the states that have actually done something about these seed coatings. And that's kind of different. We don't have any regulation whatsoever for this stuff, and it's just being used all across the United States.
So that, I think, if I'm right here, leads to the other bill in the works for 2026 to regulate neonic-coated seeds that are not treated, I guess, now as regulated pesticides. Is that about right?
Right. That's the crazy thing about this, is that they are not treated as restricted use pesticide yet. They are so toxic, and we're seeing the huge effects in the environment. They are restricted in the European Union. They are restricted in parts of Canada, to include Ontario and Quebec. And New York and Vermont have taken action to restrict them. So this isn't a ban. What it means is if you want to use these, you have to show that you have an application for them. But the regulation in itself will dramatically reduce the usage of these, because the way they're being used now is basically prophylactically. People just use them, and even if they don't have a problem. So that results in just huge widespread use.
I think you said you're not even totally against the use of these neonicotinoids in the right application, and maybe that leads us to what we do at home gardeners. How do we stay away from them?
Just look at labels. Of course, if you're in Colorado, you won't be able to buy the pesticide, but outside of Colorado and other states that have taken action, look at the labels. The most widely used pesticide is called imidacloprid. That's the one you want to look out for. There are a couple others, and you can look up on the internet what class of pesticide you have. Just read the ingredients, copy that into Google search, and it'll tell you if it's a neonics. And stay away from those. They're super toxic, usually unnecessary. But what I like to tell people is that if you're needing a pesticide, please consider if you have native plants in your garden or your yard. Native plants and insects have evolved together for thousands of years where you live, and they do just fine. Usually when a pesticide is needed, it's because people are planting things that shouldn't be grown where they're growing them.
I just want to make a quick mention. Our friend Dr. Jim Randolph was on with us a couple of weeks ago. He's a veterinarian and an avid birder, talking about flea and tick spray and flea collars. He was approaching it with the idea that if birds grab fur from your pets that have been treated this way, it can be problematic in the nest. But I didn't realize, certainly, that neonics were involved in these things as well. And his recommendation was to give your birds or your pets oral medicine to get away from those neonics.
That makes a lot of sense. I was just talking to a colleague at Audubon, and she was telling me how this is a big problem, that people give their pets. They treat their pets' fur with this with the insecticide, and then they'll groom their pets outside, and big pieces of fur will be left around. Birds will pick that up for nesting, and it poisons the birds, the chicks. So, that is a very big concern. I do think there are other alternatives to using that flea medication, and talk to your vet and ask if there is something else you can use besides neonics.
Mm-hmm. You find out more about Environment Colorado's good work at environmentcolorado.org. That's simple, environmentcolorado.org. Henry, thank you for your good and important work, and thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Ray. Great to be here.
Henry Stiles here on Talking Birds, and up next, it's our Mystery Bird Contest in just 1 minute. The flutter of a tail feather, the flash of a wing bar in mid-flight. You don't always have a lot of time to identify a bird in nature, let alone to appreciate its beauty. But with Vortex Optics, you'll have the power to bring every wild moment closer. When you choose Vortex, you're choosing to have a partner in the field as passionate about nature as you are. Whether you're spotting old friends on the backyard feeder or packing for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to add a few species to your life list, Vortex offers a full range of optics and optics accessories for every birder and every budget. And whether the birds are taking you to another state or another country, you're always covered by the Vortex VIP warranty, an unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. If you'd like to learn more, or if you need help choosing your next optic, give Vortex a call at 1-800-4VORTEX or visit vortexoptics.com. Well, 2 weeks ago on our Mystery Bird Contest, in case anybody is still possibly thinking about this, we didn't get an exactly correct answer on our Mystery Bird Contest. Sometimes when that happens, which is not often, your humble host will forget to say what the bird was on the Mystery Bird Contest. This was a large plover with a jaunty crest. The bird was the northern lapwing. We had some folks asking about that. It was the northern lapwing. That was 2 weeks ago. Well, if you're not hearing our show live and would like to so that you could answer or enter future Mystery Bird contests, for example, just go to talkingbirds.com to see how to do it. It is very, very easy, and our live broadcast is on Sunday mornings from 9:30 to 10 Eastern Time. And here again is this week's Mystery Bird. We call this a strong clue. Our mystery bird is a medium-sized grayish-brown flycatcher. Because we're kind of telling you the family there. It has dull white underparts with olive gray plumage on the breast and flanks. Our bird winters in the tropics and breeds from southeast Alaska down through western Canada to Arizona and west Texas and down into most of Mexico. Our bird nearly indistinguishable from a close eastern relative with almost the same name. Indistinguishable almost, except for it's described as a buzzier song, which is this. The number to call is 781-837-4900. And if I remember, I'll give that number again in a moment. 781-837-4900. Beautiful prizes, including that mega 600 feeder from Brome Bird Care. With the extra large tube, it holds nearly 2.5 pounds of seed, and it's easy to clean, and it's chew-proof, and it includes the Brome seed ventilation system to keep the seed cool and dry. And because you shouldn't have to sacrifice style for comfort when out in the field, we're happy to offer a $25 gift certificate for Bird Collective, your one-stop shop for vintage-inspired apparel and unique accessories, and all featuring birds. If we get to our bonus question, we'll attempt to give away a feather-friendly kit to keep birds from crashing into your windows. We lose millions upon millions of birds that way, so feather-friendly is one really nice solution to that. Well, that's our Mystery Bird contest underway here, and here is that number again. Remembering to give it. It's 781-837-4900, 781-837-4900. Our show is only 30 minutes long, and that's why we kind of run out of time, and folks call in after the show has ended. So we kind of urge you to call as soon as you can. 781-837-4900. Meanwhile, Let's Ask Mike live in just 1 minute.
Squirrels have one mission in life: eat your birdseed. They hang, they swing, they stretch, climb, and plot their next move. For squirrels, your bird feeder is the ultimate prize. But now, they've finally met their match. Introducing the Squirrel Buster Evolution. When a squirrel climbs onto the feeder, its own weight automatically closes access to the seed, stopping the theft instantly while birds continue to feed comfortably. No batteries, no tricks, no complicated setup. Just smart, proven squirrel-proof technology that works, day after day, season after season. That's why the Squirrel Buster Evolution was named Best New Birding Product of 2025 by the Wild Bird Feeding Institute. So let the birds enjoy the feast, and let the squirrels keep trying. Look for the Squirrel Buster Evolution at Brome.com or at your local bird shop.
Mike O'Connor down there at the Famous Birdwatchers General Store on famous Cape Cod is with us to talk about keeping birdhouses and the birds in there safe from predators. Good morning, Mike.
Oh, good morning, Ray. And you know, when you just talked about, and Dr. Jim mentioned about keeping fur away from the birds.
Yeah.
I have a customer who has golden retrievers. You know, they shed crazy amount of fur, and she brushes her dog in the winter before she applies any kind of flea stuff to it. So the fur is clean, and she gives it to me, and I put it out, and as soon as I put it out, the chickadees and the titmice are grabbing mouthfuls off to their nest. So if you spray your dog or you treat it, don't keep an eye on your fur. But if you don't, then yeah, the birds will like it. But yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Like
but if you do that, as you say, if you do that like in the wintertime, it'll be okay because you haven't put that stuff on yet.
Yeah, and it's really good. Boy, they just as soon as I put it out, they would like wait for me.
Yeah,
so there's a lot of golden retrievers keeping baby chickadees warm.
Yeah,
right?
they love them. Some of that golden retriever fur right there. So there are ways to keep birdhouses safe. Well, I had an invention where I had like a spring-mounted boxing glove that came out like a raccoon can, but it hasn't got on.
Oh yeah, you're watching too many Roadrunner.
Yeah, well, yeah, I thought it was a good idea at the time, but there are other better solutions, right?
Yeah, I think so. Well, no, I don't know if it's better, but it's not as funny. I know that. Sure. So birds do rely on a lot of ways to keep their chicks safe. Some are cryptic, like killdeers, whippoorwills nest right on the ground, and they can remain hidden, and hopefully the predators don't find them, but there's still a problem with the weather. Weather doesn't care about your cryptic. And then some colorful birds, blue jays, cardinals, they hide in thickets and tree branches and shrubs, and they use the trees to camouflage their nest. Again, hopefully the predators don't find them. But again, if there's a storm, the nest can get blown out of the tree. So other birds have taken, okay, let's get inside. So you got chickadees, titmice, tree swallows, bluebirds. They nest inside old woodpecker holes or natural tree cavities. But they also, as we know, use our birdhouses, our nest boxes. And there they're safe from the weather, but they're not always safe from the predators because the predators, they figure it out. And a lot of times people will buy a birdhouse and they'll just hammer it on the side of a tree, which is aesthetically pleasing, and it's cheap, and it's easy, and it looks nice out there. And it can work for a while, but eventually the predators figure it out. And then predators like raccoons and chipmunks and mice and snakes, and unfortunately people have their cats outside sometimes when they go out. They reach in the hole and they grab the baby birds. And then since birds only nest once a year, if they destroy the nest, then that birds can't lose the entire cycle. So it's important to take some steps. And what I use is I take them off the tree. Now this is a little expensive, so I can't recommend it, to everybody. But what I do and what the Mass Audubon people do here on the Cape is they get metal poles and then they put these raccoon baffles, which are long, look like a stovepipe. Mm-hmm. They put those on the poles so the raccoons can't climb them, the mice and the chipmunks and the red squirrels can't climb them, and for the most part, snakes, only the big snakes can figure them out. So they're pretty protected, but it's an expensive process. Mm-hmm. So there's another alternative if you want to put your birdhouse on a tree is something that this guy named Jim Knoll invented. It's a Knoll predator guard, and basically it's cheap to make, and you can even buy them, but it's cheap to make. It's 1.5 inch wide mesh or hardware cloth, and it forms like a rectangle tunnel. You attach it to the front of the birdhouse over the hole, and it extends out. So when the raccoons try to reach in, they can't get, their arms not long enough. And so that keeps the raccoons out. It keeps cats from reaching in. It doesn't keep out snakes. So down south they might have a problem because I think that's a little bit more of a problem. But here it protects them from the raccoons. So then you can put your birdhouse on the tree. And they're cheap to make. And you can look online. The Cornell Project Nest Watch has a description how you can make them for really, less than a couple of bucks. There's also a website and there's other predator guards, and there's a website, Cialis.org. Cialis is the Latin name for eastern bluebird, and don't mix it up with Cialis. You'll get a different website altogether. But you want Cialis, SIALIS.org, and that's a really good website. Mm-hmm. This guy breaks down all the different guards, predator guards, including this one and other ones that some don't seem to work as well, or the birds avoid them, because some of the commercial ones that are plastic, the birds seem to avoid. So I would, if you have the money, get a pole with a raccoon baffle, and that'll stop all the climbers. Or if you look into this Knoll predator guard, that would be a good way of protecting your chicks from the trees.
Yeah. And by the way, Mike, I just checked, and we still have some more of those spring-mounted boxing gloves in the inventory here in case you'd like to stock some in your store, maybe.
I'll send some people down.
All right.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah. I'll put a little note on that, and then send some customers your way.
I knew you'd like it. All right, thank you, Mike. Mike O'Connor at the Birdwatchers General Store, Cape Cod. He'll be back with us next week, and we're back to the Mystery Bird Contest, I believe. That's where we are. And just quickly, a medium-sized grayish-brown flycatcher, dull white underparts, olive gray plumage on the breast and flanks. And we have Scott out on the West Coast in California. Hello, Scott. Hello, Scott.
Good morning, Ray.
Good morning. Good morning, Scott. Clues and all that came your way. What do you say?
Yes, sir. I believe it's the Pacific Slope flycatcher.
The Pacific Slope flycatcher. Jesse is making... Oh, he's just yawning is actually what he was doing. No, that's a good guess. A top-quality one, but not the one we were looking for, Scott. But thank you.
All right. Well, thanks for letting me play along.
Thank you. All right, Scott. With a guess of a Pacific Slope flycatcher. Larissa is in New Hampshire. Good morning, Larissa.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. I hope you're not calling to give us grief about our comments about your governor and legislature.
Oh, gosh. No, not at all. I don't agree with it at all.
All right. Well, that's good to know. You are calling on the Mystery Bird Contest, and you say, what is? The Mystery Bird is what?
Is it the Western Wood Pewee?
I think it is the Western Wood Pewee. In fact, I'm quite certain of it. Nice. Exactly right. Western Wood Pewee. We're just out of time here, Larissa. Thank you so much. Stay on the line. We'll get your info.
Okie doke.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Larissa in New Hampshire, correctly identifying the Western Wood Pewee. We are out of time. Thanks for listening, and see you next week.
The Bird Show. I like that. I must
Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty. Their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optics covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.
By Brome, where bird feeding meets innovation. Discover truly squirrel-proof bird feeders, all backed by lifetime care commitment. Brome.com.
and by Hog Island Audubon Camp. For full camp schedule, program details, and to register, visit audubon.org/Hog Island.